I'm sure all of us have thought that a certain instruction or direction is unnecessary or didn't need to be done right then. So, for instance, like when you are making something, like baking something, and you may not have the exact amount that you need, but it doesn't seem like it would be something you need that exact amount of, and then you start making it and it doesn't turn out right at all. Or when you're putting something together and you don't put a certain part in when it says to, and then you get to the end and you have to redo it. The lesson I learned from my experience is that there's usually a reason for instructions and the order that they're in. So I was about 7, I think, and my dad and I went out hunting, and it was an unsuccessful day of hunting. And we were heading back, and my dad found a morel mushroom, and most of my family likes them. I do not. And I like looking for them though, and we ended up, my dad showed me what they looked like, and what a false morel looked like, and what a normal morel looked like. And then we ended up just searching for those, and he told me that I should take my hat off and put them in my hat when I'm finding them. And then we split off and started searching for them. And as I was collecting them, I noticed that there was lots of bugs and weird looking things coming out of the mushrooms, and a lot of dirt, and I was somewhat attached to my hat, and I didn't like that there was that in it. So I took the mushrooms out and put them in my coat pocket, cleaned out my hat, and then put it back on, and then continued looking for them. And I was finding quite a bit, and then like 45 minutes to an hour later, we met back up, and he asked how many I'd found, and I told him I found a lot, more than what he had found. And he noticed that I had my hat on my head, and he asked where I put them, and I went to show him where I put them, and all of the mushrooms were all squished and broken up, and they were no longer whole, because every time that I went to pick one, I bent over and crushed all the ones that I had done before. And so he was not very happy about that, especially since he had actually told me not to put them in my coat, jacket, pocket, and I did it anyway. And so what I learned from this is that there's a reason for instructions to be given and for them to be followed. Otherwise, something's not going to turn out right. And what you can learn from this is basically the same thing, just there's a reason for the instructions, you should probably follow them. And so I learned how important it is to follow the directions, and next time you begin to think that the next part isn't really necessary, just do it anyway.